Welcome to part 2 of our video on the important but not well understood work of the OFCCP, or Office of Federal Contract Compliance Programs. I'm Sharmili Majmudar with Women Employed. Let's dive in. On President Trump's first day in office, he rescinded Executive Order 11246, which had originally been signed by President Lyndon B. Johnson in 1965. That order authorized a part of the Department of Labor known as the OFCCP. The OFCCP works to ensure contractors and subcontractors who do business with the federal government comply with equal opportunity laws and that they take affirmative actions, that means proactive steps, to meet their legal obligation to not discriminate against workers on the basis of race, color, sex, sexual orientation, gender identity, religion, national origin, disability, or status as a protected veteran. It's appropriate that federal contractors are held to high standards of workplace fairness, given that they are entrusted with your taxpayer dollars. You might wonder how much this really matters. Maybe you've never even heard of the OFCCP. Well, let me give you some insight into the importance of this critical agency. Federal contractors and subcontractors actually represent 1 in 5 workers in the U.S. That is a huge percentage of the civilian workforce. You almost certainly have people in your lives, people you know and care about, who work for companies and organizations that have contracts with the federal government. The OFCCP is the agency that ensures those employers don't discriminate against workers based on who they are, who they love, or how they worship. Historically, they've had the authority to actively push for equity and inclusion in the workforce by requiring employers to create affirmative action plans. In other words, measures to prevent discrimination from happening in the first place and ensuring fair and equal treatment of all employees. The OFCCP's authority has included the ability to actively audit, identify, investigate, and remedy discrimination. As a result, unlike other federal agencies, they don't have to wait for someone to bring a lawsuit or complaint to address those issues. And even though their authority is limited to federal contractors and subcontractors, they have had influence by extension over the entire American workforce. They've played a major role in opening doors for women and people of color at all levels of industries they had previously been locked out of by bias and discrimination. Even if you don't realize it, it is likely that you have directly benefited from their work. Women Employed has had a long history of working with the OFCCP to open doors and break barriers for working women across the country and here in Illinois. In the 70s, 80s, and 90s, we helped shape the work of the OFCCP, and we defended the agency successfully against previous threats. We also leveraged the progress made possible by the OFCCP to fight for women who faced bias and discrimination at work, winning landmark changes in the policies of major corporations and a historic legal case that resulted in tens of millions of dollars in back wages paid to women right here in Chicago who had been victims of discrimination. It's hard to imagine that working women, people of color, and other groups would have had the opportunities that they do today without the critical work of the OFCCP. Defending the work of this agency is vital to ensuring fair and equal access to opportunity. We've got actions you can take to make a difference, whether you have 5 minutes, 15 minutes, an hour, or more. Visit the link on your screen to learn what you can do.